Episode 534, Lockwood, Part 2.
My lady,
Get out!
Kate ordered the maid.
I want to be alone.
Her mother would be killed, and since she had stayed behind to hide, she had missed any chance to plead for her mother to be spared. The thought of her mother dying pained her, but what added to it was the fact that the court ordered her to be hung so the town could see what would happen to those hurting others. They continued to fail someone who had been hurt most of her life, punishing her while others who deserved to be killed walked around untouchable, like Edgar, who killed her father and did not receive a punishment. The maid quietly left the room to give Kate space to grieve for her mother in peace. She closed the door behind her. She had no idea where Kate would go from there, and she felt that Kate also did not know where she would go from there. Kate was now alone, without a husband, mother, or father. She should turn to her sister for help. Kate stared at the paper, as if the words would change, and there would be a different punishment for her mother. Losing her father was painful, but losing her mother felt worse. There was a different love she had for her mother compared to her father. She could easily move on from her father's death, but not from her mother's. She could not live without her mother. Kate's knees felt weak, and she dropped to the floor instead of reaching the bed to sit down. Tears started to flow from her eyes, falling onto the paper and ruining the ink. It was not supposed to end this way. She could have left town with her mother and never bothered Alessandra again. They would all be alive.
I can't.
Kate bit her lip as she found it hard to get more than 2 words out. She felt numb without having to drink something to feel this way. The last piece of happiness holding her together had shattered. What was she to do now? Kate could not visit her mother in the palace dungeon and hold on to the hope that her mother would be freed after a few years and they would be together again. There was no one for her to lean on in the future. Regardless of what Katrina had done, she was Kate's mother. The court and Alessandra stole all that Kate had left. Alessandra knew what it was like to be without a mother, yet she still went ahead and placed that same fate on Kate. Alessandra was not as kind as she wanted others to believe. Kate knew the truth, which is why she did not regret what she had done to Alessandra in the past. Alessandra deserved every bit, since she had now taken her mother away from her. The voice in her head was wrong, and she should have felt sorry for Alessandra.
What am I to do?
Kate asked herself. She felt more helpless than she did before the news arrived. Her mother would be gone, and she would not have to worry about what the town would say, but Kate had to face their words at some point. There would come a time when she would have to leave her home and be taunted by people like Grace, who would show off her husband and her happy life. Though she had money to last her for a while, Kate felt worthless since she had no title, reputation, or beauty. The gossip and rumors would eventually break her. Life in Lockwood was always challenging when you needed someone to shield or guide you. Kate knew it, as she was often the one to toy with those who had no protection. Why stay here? You know you'll be compared to Alessandra, who has everything. Kate did not attempt to ignore Simon's voice, which continued to haunt her. She wished she had taken Bella's offer for them to heal together. She hid in her home to get away from the town's words, but Simon's voice made life inside hell for her. Kate never told her mother or anyone else. But before Simon's voice, others pushed her to torture Alessandra from a young age. She had gotten better at ignoring them, but her time with Simon and the comparisons to Alessandra brought them back more than ever. There were headaches and strange feelings, like someone was placing their hand on her.
I cannot do this alone.
Kate continued to cry. She needed help, but no one was by her side. Kate looked ahead at the open window where a breeze came in. A single thought filled her mind. Kate slowly got to her feet, almost falling over because she could not properly balance herself, as she was still shaken up about her mother's death. She gripped the two sides of her dress and dragged her feet to the window. As soon as she got closer to the large open window, she stepped up onto the little space of wall where her feet barely fit and tried to keep herself balanced. She looked down at the drop from the window of the second floor to the rocky path down below. Death was better than living under the pressure of Lockwood. This town would eat her alive, as she will be the source of their entertainment. Kate had no idea what life outside of Lockwood would be like, to travel by herself to search for a new life. This was her only option at the moment. Kate thought over her options one last time, but could not find a better solution than this. She would not stay around for Grace to mock her or to see Alessandra's smile on her face because she had completely ruined their lives. Kate stuck one foot out to attempt to jump, but it was harder than she anticipated. She took a deep breath and decided to do it in one go, or she would never be able to do it. Kate jumped from the window, feeling like someone had pushed her back to help her get it over. By night, on the Collins estate, Alessandra stared at the flowers she had painted on the walls. She wondered if it would be too girly if they were to have a boy. She looked to her right at the fish Alfred had painted for some reason. She learned today that, just like Edgar, Alfred could not paint. If not for Edgar looking like Edmund, Alessandra would wonder if Priscilla's anger stemmed from the fact that Alfred was somehow Edgar's real father.
You should tidy up and prepare for dinner. Your dress is covered in paint. It was a good decision to wear one you could toss out after,
Alfred said, looking at the paint spots on Alessandra's hand and dress.
We've made a bit of a mess on the floor. We should... No,
Alfred panicked, taking the rag Alessandra wanted to use to go down and clean the spilled paint.
I shall take care of it. You should go wash up before the paint dries on your skin, and we have been away from Edgar for too long. He must miss your presence.
The door opened, and Edgar inspected the newly painted room. His eyes then settled on Alessandra, who smiled at him. She was completely unaware of what the town was talking about now.
What kind of talent is this for him to always walk in when someone is speaking about him? Edgar, what is it?
Alessandra felt nervous as she sensed something was wrong. Edgar did not show his usual teasing smile and seemed hesitant to tell her something.
The town has much to talk about today. First with Katrina dying, and now I have been informed that Kate jumped from the second floor of her home in what looks to have been an attempt to end her life,
said Edgar. Shock wasn't the right word to describe what came over Alessandra at the moment. She knew Kate and Katrina loved each other dearly, but she did not expect that Katrina's death would lead to Kate doing this. Or had something else pushed her to the decision?
It doesn't sound like she has died.
Alessandra realized after she thought back to how Edgar placed his words.
Well, she only jumped from the second floor. If she had done it head first, perhaps she would have hit the ground hard enough to kill herself. The roof would have been a better pick. She didn't succeed in killing herself, but she severely damaged her body. I don't know the exact details of her state. She is still being looked after by a doctor,
Edgar said, taking slow steps toward Alessandra as she tried to wrap her mind around what Kate had done.
I don't know if you would call it an issue, but since Katrina is dead and Clark is not exactly Kate's closest family, you are tasked with making decisions about what will happen to Kate. You and Kate do not get along, but in the eyes of the court, you are still her older sister. The land and the house left to Kate are now under your command while you care for Kate,
Edgar revealed.
What?
Alessandra replied in disbelief. Her father hadn't left any of it to her, but now that Kate needed to be cared for, she was now given control. Alessandra knew nothing could change the fact that she was Kate's older sister, but she did not want to spend her days taking care of Kate in her former home. How had this turned around to be a punishment for her?
I don't want to spend my days taking care of Kate and running that house in her place. Do I get to answer if this is something I want to do or not?
Of course, but it means you will have to go see Kate tomorrow. Men from the court will be there to hear your decision. This is why I'm happy to be an only child,
said Edgar.
Lucky you. I have to go to a gathering with your mother tomorrow afternoon. Then there is the festival in town to celebrate Hazel and Tobias. But I do not think I will attend,
Alessandra said, as a large crowd, the news surrounding her former family and being pregnant did not seem like a good mix. There would be more festivals for her to attend, and she had already celebrated with Hazel and Tobias.
We have the dinner falling on your father's birthday the day after.
Get it over with before you meet with my mother. Then there will be peace because something always happens afterward. Why is it you have pushed me away from painting, but you've allowed Alfred to continue with his horrible skills?
Edgar asked, moving on to the second issue. Alfred was hovering around a depressing painting of a fish.
Do not feel bad, Edgar. I will also stop Alfred from painting. I am going to wash up and come down for dinner in a moment. Tomorrow will be a day full of headaches, so I must make the most of tonight,
Alessandra said, kissing Edgar on his cheek before leaving. The next day, Alessandra exited her carriage and looked up at the home of a well-known doctor in Lockwood. His work was known to be years ahead of the doctors in the kingdom. Edgar informed her that the doctor gained his knowledge of medicine by traveling around the kingdom and even outside of it. It was this doctor who helped make the cream that healed her scars. Alessandra looked around for any signs of her guest.
He is late,
she noted. She shouldn't have expected any more. Alessandra was not here to take care of Kate, so she thought of a solution that would benefit everyone. Not wanting to prolong what was meant to be a short visit, Alessandra walked up the steps of the doctor's home with Caleb and Reed right behind her. It felt like old times to just have the twins with her.
Duchess?
Mark greeted Alessandra when she reached the door.
How many times must we meet each other? Your family has kept my life busy for a month now. There are other cases that need my attention. I hope to see less of your family soon. Hello, Mark. I am hoping for the same thing. I hope this doesn't come off as rude, but I am in a bit of a rush, so I need to do this quickly. I have invited someone who should be here shortly unless he wants our deal to end. What must I do?
Alessandra asked.
Come with me,
Mark said, walking beside Alessandra to take her to see Kate.
Your sister is awake. She won't be leaving the bed anytime soon, not until it is time to take her home so she can heal there. I know there is bad blood between the two of you, but you should see her. There is a paper for you to sign to take over your father's land.
I will not be the one caring for Kate or the land. My uncle and I have agreed that he will stay here in Lockwood to look after Kate until she is able to care for herself. I am only here to sign away that he will care for her, and then I will be on my way. I do not want to see Kate. It would only end in an argument, and seeing that I am going to a gathering with many women soon, I must save my voice,
Alessandra said.
I see. We can't force you to take care of her. It is only because you are her sister that the responsibility fell on you before your uncle. Please sit here,
Mark said, pointing to a chair.
I don't need Edgar to find out that I let his pregnant wife stand around instead of offering her a seat.
Thank you.
Alessandra gladly sat down.
So she is in this room right ahead?
She asked, looking at the closed room right ahead.
Yes,
Mark answered.
If she is determined, she could start walking around in no time. What your sister did today made me think of how stressful it is to be a lady in Lockwood. She is not the first young lady who has attempted to end her life after losing her status, and she will not be the last. They fear what life in town will be like with no status and no husband.
For someone to pick death over facing the town, it makes you think of how bad the town is. If it is a good thing to raise a child here.
Alessandra touched her stomach.
Perhaps I should move, and you would no longer have to deal with Edgar.
Mark imagined a life without Edgar being in the same town as him.
I would like that,
he replied. Alessandra did not completely believe Mark. She felt that, deep down, Mark enjoyed his interactions with Edgar and would miss him. Regardless of Edgar's personality, he greatly helped the town, and Mark could not deny how much he depended on Edgar.
I am here. Where do I need to sign?
Clark rubbed his hands together. He could not believe that Alessandra was entrusting him with caring for Kate. He could take care of himself now, but he wouldn't mind taking over the home he felt belonged to him in the first place and caring for Kate. Kate annoyed Clark with her attitude, but once again, he saw himself in her, always compared to the perfect older sibling. Clark would be damned if he let Alessandra turn down this responsibility and let all of Kate's wealth from her ex-husband fall into his mother's hands. He would care for Kate so she would not have to beg like he did.
I will write up a new agreement here that the Duchess will be handing over all responsibility for Kate to you. Both of you need to sign it, and then I will take it to the court to be kept safe. It will be a pain in the ass to change this in the future, so while I am away, confirm if it is what you want to do. Excuse me,
Mark said, leaving to find a blank piece of paper.
Alessandra watched Mark walk away, and then she turned to Clark, who smiled.
I hope you got rid of your habit of spending money quickly and then begging for more. It is not just you that you must care for now.
Since you have been so kind to give me the land left for you, I have changed my ways. I am not going to run away with Kate's money. I will care for her, so she does not need to go around begging like I did. This is a chance for me to finally settle down and
have a home for the first time in years. I must thank you for making it possible.
Clark said, as without Alessandra, he would be left with nothing.